So good morning and welcome along to Eclipse Motorcycles. Today we're going to be looking at this, something a little bit different today. This is a Keeway. This is a Keeway RKS 125 Sport. And we've got the bike running just to show you what this bike is like. Lovely bright headlight on that, and it's got that daytime running light as well. LED indicators. This one is in the black and orange. And just looking in close on that bike, I do love this nice front flare that it's got to it, just to deflect the wind off the knees. Very easy to get into the spark plug. Check your oil as well. Just working down the bike, lovely gold caliper on the back of this one, and a gorgeous little design of that rear exhaust can as well. Nice high tail tidy on this one, and you've got the LED indicators and an LED rear stop light on this one. Lovely low seating position as well, and a slightly raised position for your passenger to just get you above the rider. Nice set of rear foot pegs on this one, and it is a gorgeous looking bike. So looking forward to getting something a little bit different out on the road. And obviously this one, Keeway RKS, Benelli design on this one. Nice dash on this. So on the right hand side of the controls, you've got your standard start button to the bottom, you've got hazard light switch to the middle, and your kill button to the top right. On the left hand controls, you've got the horn indicators to the middle, high and low beam just to the top, and you've got a pass light just to the rear on the finger position. Looking at the dial on this one, rev counter to second, all your instrument gauges to the left. On the right hand side, you've got time, fuel, speed, and your gear selector. With this one, it does come with a USB connector as well, so if you do want to have a phone kit on this, you can just plug straight into this USB connector just here. And we're going to take this one out. This has a 5-speed box on it as standard. And we're going to take this one out into traffic and just show you what this bike is like. Now, it does have an adjustable front brake, so you do have a selector on that front brake, just so you can set up your front brake position. Now, one thing I did notice on this, the gearing on this is absolutely perfect. That's up to 40 mile an hour already in 4th gear. So nice wide spacing on those gears, on that ratio of that gearbox. So getting up to 5th gear, your revs are very, very low, about 4,500 RPM, about 5,000 actually on that dial, and that's sitting at 42 mile an hour on this one. So very, very nice ratio on that gearbox on this. Mirrors on this, once again, nice and wide, and I'd say about a quarter of my shoulder in the mirror on both sides of this bike. And just coming in on that front brake, and we're just going to pull it up nice and hard, and disc brakes are absolutely perfect on this one. So very, very nice ratio on the gearbox. Lovely seating position on this as well. Got my feet planted firmly on the floor, but even when the knees are up, they're tucked about half the way down the tank, tucked in behind that little flare that they've got at the front, just take the wind off the knees. So very, very nice design on this one. So as usual, we're going to go down the dual carriageway, get some mileage on it, and once again do the urban route on the way back, just to show what this bike is like. Looking to put about 15 to 20 miles on this bike, as we do with every test ride, at our standard 40 mile an hour for running in purposes. Now, every bike is different, but we'd always say, as I say on every blog, make sure that you do run a motorcycle incorrectly. So just working our way out into traffic and getting a nice ride on this Keeway, sitting at around about 40 to 45 mile an hour, just for the purposes of running in. But the Keeways, something slightly different. We do Keeway as well. Obviously my favourite Keeway is the Superlight, the Cruiser. I do like them Superlight Cruisers. But obviously this little RKS, very, very upright position. Bars are lovely and wide on this one, and you get a really nice feel of the road from them bars. And just putting it over a few of those potholes, that suspension is just soaking up all the bumps on this. So absolutely perfect on this one. So this one is due to go out in about 2 to 3 days to the customer, and we're just putting the mileage on it for him. But it's a totally different feel to what I'd get. It's a very, very similar ride, or a very, very similar feel if you was riding something like the Lex Moto Venom or the Viper. So it's a very, very good riding position on this one. So what we're going to do on this, I'm going to crack up some more mileage. We're going to do little bits and pieces throughout the video, and then I'll come back to you once we've got the final few miles, just to do a little bit of urban mileage. So we'll catch up with you in a few little bits and pieces coming up. We're going to go in and out on this video, something different for you, rather than the standard ride down the dual carriageway and the urban. We're going to change this up a little bit. We're going to do some back roads on this as well, and I'll cut back in once I come off the dual carriageway, so see you in a few. So slightly different route we're going to take now. We've just come off the dual carriageway, and we're going to do a little bit of my back road, semi-village roads green laning, just to show you what this bike is like. Obviously I'm sitting in the centre of the road here, position 3, due to the amount of dirt, grit and wet roads, but we're going to pull it up some big hills and just show you what it's like. And even with a nice big hill, there is still plenty of torque from that engine, plenty to pull me up the hill, even with a little bit more throttle control. So very dark roads, obviously it's very early in the morning, 7:30 in the morning, hence why I have the visor up. And then what we're going to do, we're going to go down some of these back roads that we've got here and just show you what it's like on the bumps, on loose surfaces and on back country roads. And that suspension is just soaking up everything I throw at it. Absolutely perfect. Taking it nice and steady, obviously observing the road ahead, because this is known as the rat run, and we do get a lot of cars. If you happen to see the riot video, a lot of people hammer down here at 30-40 mile an hour. I'm sitting at a nice steady 30, taking it nice and easy, and even over lots of gravel the tyres are doing a perfect job of keeping me stuck to the road. So loads of potholes, loads of gravel, suspension doing its job, minding the horse pup, but does an absolutely perfect job of holding the road on loose surfaces. So even on the back roads and on the urban, if you happen to live out in a village, and as I say, watch out for the cars. But even filtering through the traffic with these big wide bars is not a problem. So a lovely little ride from this Keeway RKS Sport. Then what we're going to do, we're going to go back into town. There's something a little bit different up today. And that pulls through that gearbox absolutely perfect. Lovely and crisp, no clunkiness and no softness. It's got a very, very responsive feel from that gearbox. So currently 12 miles on the bike, doing very well. And as you'd expect from a Keeway, very responsive. And as I always say, does what it says on the tin. So if you're looking for a good little ideal urban commuter, RKS is good. And I would say it's very, very similar to the ride you get from the Venom or the Viper. Feels exactly the same. But the road holding on this is absolutely superb. And I'm not afraid to actually, on this one, ride out in position 3. I normally stick to position 1 on a 125, which is the inside lane. But obviously on something like this, riding out in position 3 is not a problem for me. And it corners lovely and crisp, even in a very, very low gear. So currently going through the corners on 4th, but even on a 3rd gear corner, and the pickup from it, the response off that engine, absolutely superb. So what we're going to do now, we're going to make our way back towards the garage, and then just to show you what this was like on the back roads, and can't fault it. Obviously I do my 5 things, what I know as my reach, which is rideability, economy, affordability, comfort and handling. So for number 1, for the rideability, can't fault this, absolutely love it. Perfect little bike. Economy, it's a 125, so you're going to get loads to the gallon out of one of these, and it's got quite a large tank on it, I think about 12 litres on this one. But obviously I have to check the spec on that. But it is a very, very big tank between my legs, so, and it's very, very easy. Just get your knees in and just grip it. My knees just tuck in nicely into that rear part of the tank. Affordability comes out just under about £2,000 on one of these, which is about the same as what you'd get from a Venom or a Viper. So the choice is yours. Obviously with the Venom and the Viper you get the option of that Bluetooth radio on it, and you can also link a USB into it. So you fancy a bit of music while you're riding, something a bit gimmicky, Venom or a Viper. And both of those, I prefer the Viper more to the Venom, because the Viper is very, very aesthetically pleasing. Comfort, can't fault this little bike, absolutely perfect. Very, very nice padded seat on this one. Riding position's really, really nice, so great on the comfort in this one. And the handling, as you've just seen down those back roads, absolutely perfect. So handles like an absolute dream. So rideability, I'm going to give it 10. Economy, give it another 10. Affordability, it's a little bit pricey. For a 125, obviously you can get cheaper 125s, but for just under the 2, you're getting a lot of bike for your buck. So I'm going to give that a 9. Comfort, can't fault it, it's a 10. Handling, exceptional on this, another full 10 on that one. So 49 out of 50. It's the Keeway RKS. Last bit of urban mileage to put on. If you are into one of these, give the guys at Eclipse a call, 01908 643 603. As always, check out the other videos that I've got on my channel for the other Lex Motos that we ride, and we're going to be doing the electric ones in the next couple of days. So I'm going to be taking you out, giving you a full ride on all the Lex Moto electric scooters. Check all those out. As always, Eclipse Motorcycles, very, very easy to find. You can find them on Facebook. There is a link to my YouTube channel on my page as well, so everything can be found off the website, which is revbomb.co.uk. Eclipse Motorcycles on the first page, link to the Facebook, link to the website, phone number is on there for the boys. And very wet roads today, but these tyres are great. And as always, my social media on the last page, so that's the Instagram, the Facebook, YouTube and the Twitters on there as well. And until the next time, on a different bike, this has been the Keeway RKS Sport 125. Be well, ride safe, and from RB, it's a big goodbye from me.